Welcome back to Cody's Corner Garage. Today, I'm making a trade deal, and I'm taking you along with me. So today, I'm going to trade this 06 Jetta. This was my wife's daily driver for a long time. And I'll show you what we're trading for real soon. But for now, we got to take this, haul it, what is it, 6 hours from home? So we're halfway there right now already. We're staying at these nice little cabins. But yeah, we're on our way out here this morning to do the other half of our drive. And then we'll be back here tonight with the new car, and then back home tomorrow. So we made it. There's the Jetta, and there's what we're trading for. 617 diesel. It's a 79 Mercedes 300 SD. We're gonna see if we can get it running.
The annoying thing is shutting off like that.
Yeah, my other one actually, it's just gonna broke cable.
Oh, does it?
It's up to the firewall and pull it.
Starting it, all you do is you run the bolt plug twice and there it goes.
See that? How's good blow running?
I got the old little motor.
I got the 85 Jetta diesel at home. You get so much blow by, you crank the tap and blow it off. Oh, whatever the car.
Yeah, but them little gutters, they don't care.
No, they just run forever anyway.
Little Macri actually one feature over there.
Because mine's converted to one on heavy oil.
Oh yeah. I was gonna try to do that sound, but I never really thought.
Okay, let's go back in the car. What happened? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all a little sticky.
Yeah,
I sprayed it, but
I was scared it was running away for a second, and then
No.
I touched the pedal, and it was already like halfway to the floor. And I was like, all right,
oh
let's
yeah,
just
it's
start.
the throttle sticks.
Yeah. Oh, I'll do all the regular maintenance stuff on it anyway. Belts, fluids, filters.
Get away.
So here it is. 79 Mercedes 300 SD. It's in pretty good shape. It's got a little rust, but it starts right up. It's got a vacuum issue. It's got a radiator leak. But critically here, it's got an OM617 turbo, and it's only got 147,000 miles. Let's see if I can get that brighter for you. There you go. It's got 147,000 miles on it. US car, apparently. Didn't even notice that when I was looking at it. There you go. Really nice car. So now we gotta make it home with it. 6 hours to go. Wife wanted to go to IKEA. And I can't argue with her because I just got a car, so here we are. In other news, I sufficiently undercoated U-Haul's trailer for them because I forgot the oil cooler lines are disconnected, so you're welcome. Yep, going good. Left you guys hanging there. I got the car home and I started diving into it. I didn't even know if I'd have enough to make a video on this, so I just, climbed right in and started working on it. And it turns out there is a lot. This car needs a bunch of work that I didn't think that it needed, which, anyway, that's typical. First off, with this radiator fiasco. So this is the original radiator, and someone tried to expertly fix it by soldering some of the cores shut, and that didn't work, obviously. So when I bought the car, I was like, oh, no big deal, I'll just buy a new radiator. Except it turns out you can't. I can't find a new one of this anywhere for sale. So then I figured, well, maybe I'll just get this one recored. I want you to brace yourself for how much it costs to get this tiny little radiator recored. Just sit down. Have paramedics on standby, okay? This right here is $800 to get recored. I think I just had an aneurysm. Anyway, so that's not happening because the whole car is worth about $600. So I'm not paying $800 for a radiator, so scrap that idea. Okay, so now we're on to, can I scour the internet and see if I can find a used one anywhere? No. So, plan 7 is to take this Toyota Echo radiator and make it work, and hopefully it has enough capacity to cool this thing. Doubtful, but can it at least work enough to scoot this thing up and down a flat road doing the speed limit? Maybe. I don't know. So I got this one at a junkyard, and this is the only thing that I could find that was even close to the right size to fit. So I'm building mounts and stuff to make this work. And then if this does, by some miracle, actually work enough to cool it, then I'll buy a new one to replace this junkyard one. Because these are only $60, brand new. So, much better. But, for a manual transmission car. The automatic version has inlets at the bottom that won't fit because they'll hit the fan, so now I have to put a transmission cooler on it. So I bought this cheapy transmission cooler, which I'm setting up on it now. But that required some work because Mercedes uses these funky, weird little fittings that aren't the same as anything else for whatever. Anyway, so I had to get some lines made to adapt my aftermarket transmission cooler, which I need because the original one was in the radiator, but the radiator that I'm putting in it, which isn't for the car, doesn't have a transmission cooler, because if it did, then it would hit the fan. Okay. Are we all on the same page now? I hope, maybe? So that is just like the beginning of issues. Secondly, the car won't shut off, which is something that cars should do. You know, it's important that they run, but it's also important that they don't run when you want them to not run. And the reason that the car won't shut off is because these cars use vacuum to shut down the engine, which seems weird, but that's how they do it. So anyway, this is the shut-off valve that goes on the injection pump, and basically you shut the key off and vacuum pulls into this and pulls the diaphragm and pulls this shut, and this pulling shut pulls a lever, and the injection pump which shuts the engine down because it pulls fuel. Anyway, this one it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, is what I'm saying. So I bought a new one of those on Amazon. So, you know, that'll work really well forever. But it was the only place I could find it. So yeah, there we go. Now I have a new one of those, but I can't test it until I get this radiator thing dealt with, because if I start the car right now, the transmission fluid will just pump out because there's no transmission cooler in place. It's a domino effect when you work on this stuff. Like, the more you modify, the more you end up having to modify to make your modification work. Which then means that you have to modify more to make those modifications. Anyway, that's how this stuff goes. Well, I guess I'll get you in here and kind of show you what I'm doing. So, the new mount for the radiator is going to be basically the oil cooler is now bolted to the car, and the new mount is a piece of bed frame bolted to the oil cooler, and the other side is going to bolt to the tow hook. And I'm going to take a couple old sockets that fit the pegs on that and weld them to this in the right places so that the radiator can sit there. And then I have hoses off of a Volkswagen Jetta that actually fit that radiator pretty well, so we're going to use those. And then the overflow tank won't work because it has, well, the old radiator, you filled it from the overflow, so that's not going to work because this one doesn't do that, and that hose would just puke on the ground. I could plug it, but anyway, I'm going to use an overflow tank probably out of a square body truck. So what we got going on here is a Toyota Echo radiator going into a 1979 Mercedes diesel with an aftermarket transmission cooler that I got from Napa with some homemade lines, and radiator hoses off of an 80s Jetta with the expansion tank from a square body truck. You know, this car was like over $100,000 when it was new. Okay. Now, the reason I want all of this to bolt in is so that if I ever do happen to find that somewhere, by some chance, I want to be able to just take all of this back out and throw it in a dumpster and put all of the original parts back in it. So nothing's drilled, nothing's welded, nothing's not. It can all go back to the way it's supposed to be if I ever find the right radiator. But for now, this will get it running, and then I can worry about getting the right parts later. Also, you can still shut the car off. Really? Stop leaking off, damn it, I'm trying to make a video over here. Like I was saying, you can still shut this car off, because Mercedes put an emergency stop valve on here for when you inevitably lose your vacuum system and the car won't quit. So you can shut the car off, but it means you have to get out of the car, come out here, open the hood, latch is sticky, frig with that, and then you get under the hood and you push on that. And all of the rods on that are worn out, so you push on it and the car almost stalls, but then it doesn't quit all the way, and it keeps running on like 3 cylinders. So then you have to reach in here with your other hand, and you have to really grab the rod, and then the engine quits. So that's a little inconvenient, so I'd like to just be able to take the key and go boop, and then it shuts off, you know. Also, expert repair on the heating system here. They just bypassed the typically broken climate control unit and just said, yeah, we'll just heat, and no heat, no heat. Yeah, approved. That'll probably stay. Alright, so I've got the transmission cooler mounted, lines all set up. I've got the radiator in mounted. I've got tabs on top to hold the top of the radiator from coming back. Rigged up some hoses from a Volkswagen Jetta. They're going to work fine. The overflow just comes out on the ground for now, but I will find a tank for that. I have one somewhere. Oil cooler's bolted back up. So, there are a couple more things I want to do before I start this, but check this out. I don't know if you can see that. There. Made in Germany. There's the Mercedes logo. That, I believe, is an original belt. And it is very bad. So as much as it pains me, I'm going to cut that off. It's just for the air conditioning anyway. The rest of the belts are also bad, but they're not as bad as this one is, for obvious reasons. So I'm just going to snip that quick. The rest of it should be fine. And then there's also this spot here. So this is not something that I would normally care much about, except that it's right where the throttle pedal mounts to the floor. So I'm going to fix that in a way that any reasonable person would fix a 1970s luxury car. Well, I was going to show you fixing the floor, but I opened this door and it appears that some tenants have moved in. However, they're not paying rent, so we're going to get rid of those real quick. Good lord. I don't remember this thing being this moldy. I think this has happened just since I got it in the garage. For some reason. Weird. I've never seen that happen to a car in here before. Look at the steering wheel. It definitely wasn't like that. Whoa. That's strange. Anyway, back to fixing the floor. I use the term fix very loosely, of course. We'll just move that pedal out of the way. We won't need that yet. Save it for later. What's all this? Just sound deadening. Oh, yeah. Get rid of that. We don't need that where we're going. Okay. Now, let's just get some more of this out of the way, like that. Excellent. That looks like the bracket for the pedal, what's left of it. So we'll just delete that. We probably don't need it. Okay. We'll just take this. See, I chose this plate because the car is a 79. And this is a 82 plate. So that's kind of fitting, I think. Okay. Get that in there. Get rid of some more of this. I feel like this is probably making the situation worse instead of better. Oh yeah, way worse. There. Oh yeah. That's properly installed now. Perfect. That is a perfectly solid floor. Just great. That seems to be a little better. There. Perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is slide the pedal back on. And see, you do need something there to keep the pedal from doing such. So what I might have to do is find the bracket, or what's left of it, and kind of make a new one. So this is the absolute genius that I've come up with. So we've got a license plate patch with some roof flashing screwed into that and bent and shoved up into the pedal with a self-tapper and washer through that to hold the pedal from sliding off, but it's still allowing it to ride up and down so that when it moves, it can move up and down the rod freely. Exactly as Mercedes intended. Ignore that. So, you just vacuum that out a bit and throw the floor mat in and pretend that it's good. Check this out, guys. I put the floor mat back in. It's dirty, but I'm going to do a full interior job on this in the future. But just check this out. That is a factory cut that slides right around the pedal so that you can't see any of the complete hackery that I just did. It's like Mercedes knew what I was going to do to their car. That's better. Cleaned up alright. Still smells like a mouse house in here, but oh well, baby steps. So now, I think it's time we fill the coolant, fill the transmission, start this thing up, see if it shuts off, start it again, take it outside. Yeah, seems like a plan. Alright, hook up the battery cable and give her a start. See what happens. I don't know if it's going to stay cool. I don't know if anything's going to leak. That's probably good enough to get it to run. Okay, here we go. The door buzzer still sounds like a dying cat, so that's good. Nothing's hitting, nothing's rubbing. Let's see it gushing any fluids on the ground. Those are the tiny, tiny ATX leaks. Alright, let's see if it shuts off by the key now. Do me a favor and watch that gauge, will ya? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. I think it's time we take this thing for a drive. I don't even know if the seatbelt works. I'll give it a go. Don't trap me in here forever. Okay, here we go. Glow plugs. Okay. Here we go. Just gonna let it run for a second. Starts running good. Luxury at its finest. Yes. This is what it feels like to be a rich person in 1979. Here we go. I think we have a brake sticking. Something's going on. Or I just ran over a brake rotor that was laying on the hoist. No, we have a brake sticking. Or the transmission fluid's low.
Fill the transmission.
Yeah, maybe we check on that. So the transmission was indeed nearly empty. Now we have gears. That's better. Alright, let's see how she does. First impressions, it's very boaty. Very boaty. Okay, the first time I've had this on the road, ever. I drove it on the trailer, I drove it off the trailer, and I drove it into the garage, and that was it. Here we go. It's not shifting. There it shifted. Okay. Shift it again. It is majorly smoky. Oh my god, this thing smokes bad. I wish you could see that right now. Holy crap. I mean, maybe it's just from all the idling, it's been loading up. I hope. Runs good. Drives good. 40 mile an hour. Doesn't handle terrible. Nice car to drive. We're not overheating yet. Oil pressure's pegged to full. I'm guessing that's wrong. I'm not going to go very far. There is a really bad shake in this thing. Oh, drive shaft. They have rubber flex discs instead of U-joints, and I'm pretty sure one of those is about to fail. That's what that is. Okay, I'm gonna turn around soon. I don't really want to push it hard because of that. It's not smoking as bad now. Brakes feel like they're like manual. That's weird. It's almost like I got no vacuum. I probably don't actually. Alright. Let's head back to the shop. Man, when this thing gets in the boost, it's just a rocket. Holy. These tires. Oh, oil pressure does work. It's coming down. But like in a good way. It shouldn't be full all the time. Okay. Now that we're home, I want to try something. So that shut-off valve that I put on the injection pump, it does work now. But it's not getting any vacuum from the key switch. Look. Car's still running. So, I've devised a different plan. See, vacuum is vacuum. It doesn't matter whether it comes from the car or comes from a different source. As long as I can pull vacuum on that, I can shut the car off from in here. If you don't know where I'm going with this, observe my genius. I call this the reverse breathalyzer. Car shut off. Why is it gurgling at me? I don't know, let's find out. This isn't good. That is rock hard, like a baseball. And so is that one. I feel like that's about to explode. And if it's building pressure in the cooling system... No, I'm not even going to go there. We're not talking about that. Nope. So, that'll probably do it for this episode. We got it back on the road, sort of, ish. We took it for a drive. We'll continue to pick away at things here and there. Try and get this thing back to actually on the road. It does drive nice. It still needs a lot of tinkering. But hey, it's mobile. if anyone does know where I can get a 79 Mercedes 300 SD, has to be S, you know, like the letter brought to you by the letter S, you know, S 300 SD. Okay? And it has to be 1979. All right? Then I could put all this stuff, take all this garbage out and put a regular radiator back in and see if that solves anything. Probably not, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm not going there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe. If you want to see more junk like this get kind of fixed, sort of, then stick around, because we got, you know, plenty more stuff going on everywhere. See you next time.